Today is February 28th. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 steps and 12 traditions. Today out of the Big Book, we are cruising along Chapter 4, We Agnostics. We're on page 47. Out of 12 and 12, we're beginning Step 7 today by reading page 70. And of course, read the 24 hours a day and daily reflection. So with that, hope you all are doing well this morning, my friends. Life is good over here. Woke up sober today. Got 2 cups of coffee in me today already. So I'm feeling it. This Saturday morning. I guess I'm ready for my cartoons after this. And you know what? Actually, 2.5. I've got a half a cup in this little black Flyers mug here. Yes, I do have 2 Flyers mugs now. One is retired early, and then the other one's still active. And anyway, with that, I'm ready to go. Let's get to the good stuff. All right, my friends. So if you recall from yesterday's reading out of the Big Book, we are at a point where we're coming up with our own conception of our higher power, just to kind of get us started. That way we're not so hung up on the spiritual angle right off the bat. And we talked previously about the prior prejudices we might have had. So this is kind of a great way to kind of get our foot in the door with recovery here. So again, we're on page 47. When, therefore, we speak of God, we mean your own conception of God. This applies, too, to other spiritual expressions which you find in this book. Do not let any prejudice you may have against spiritual terms deter you from honestly asking yourself what they mean to you. At the start, this was all we needed to commence spiritual growth, to effect our first conscious relation with God as we understood Him. Afterward, we found ourselves accepting many things which then seemed entirely out of reach. That was growth. But if we wished to grow, we had to begin somewhere. So we used our own conception, however limited it was. We needed to ask ourselves but one short question. Do I now believe, or am I even willing to believe, that there is a power greater than myself? As soon as a man can say that he does believe, or is willing to believe, we emphatically assure him that he's on his way. It has been repeatedly proven among us that upon this simple cornerstone, a wonderfully effective spiritual structure can be built. That was great news for us, for we had assumed that we cannot make use of spiritual principles unless we accepted many things on faith which seemed difficult to believe. When people presented us with spiritual approaches, how frequently did we all say, I wish that I had what that man has. I'm sure it would work if I could only believe as he believes. But I can't accept as surely true the many articles of faith which are so plain to him. So it was comforting to learn that we could commence at a simpler level. Out of the 12 and 12, we're on Step 7. Humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. Page 70. Since this step so specifically concerns itself with humility, we should pause here to consider what humility is and what the practice of it can mean to us. Indeed, the attainment of greater humility is the foundation principle of each of AA's 12 steps. For without some degree of humility, no alcoholic can stay sober at all. Nearly all AAs have found, too, that unless they develop much more of this precious quality than may be required for just sobriety, they still haven't much chance of becoming truly happy. Without it, they cannot live to much useful purpose, or in adversity, be able to summon the faith that can meet any emergency. Humility, as a word and as an ideal, has a very bad time of it in our world. Not only is the idea misunderstood, the word itself is often intensely disliked. Many people haven't even a nodding acquaintance with humility as a way of life. Much of the everyday talk we hear, and a great deal of what we read, highlights man's pride in his own achievements. With great intelligence, men of science have been forcing nature to disclose her secrets. The immense resources now being harnessed promise such a quantity of material blessings that many have come to believe that a man-made millennium lies just ahead. Poverty will disappear, and there will be such abundance that everybody can have all the security and personal satisfaction he desires. The theory seems to be that once everybody's primary instincts are satisfied, there won't be much left to quarrel about. The world will then turn happy and free to concentrate on culture and character. Solely by their own intelligence and labor, men will have shaped their own destiny. "24 Hours a Day, February 28th. AA Thought for the Day. We should be free from alcohol for good. It's out of our hands and in the hands of God, so we don't need to worry about it or even think about it anymore. But if we haven't done this honestly and fully, the chances are that it will become our problem again. Since we don't trust God to take care of the problem for us, we reach out and take the problem back to ourselves. Then it's our problem again, and we're in the same old mess that we were in before. We're helpless again, and we drink. Do I trust God to take care of the problem for me? Meditation for the day. No work is of value without preparation. Every spiritual work must have behind it much spiritual preparation. Cut short times of prayer and times of spiritual preparation, and many hours of work may be profitless. From the point of view of God, one poor tool working all the time, but doing bad work because of the lack of preparation, is of small value compared with the sharp, keen, perfect instrument working only for a short time. But that turns out perfect work because of long hours of spiritual preparation. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may spend more time alone with God. I pray that I may get more strength and joy from such times, so that they will add much to my work. Daily Reflection, February 28th. What? No president? When told that our society had no president having authority to govern it, no treasurer who can compel the payment of any dues, our friends gasp and exclaim, "This simply can't be." 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 132. When I finally made my way to AA, I could not believe that there was no treasurer to compel the payments of dues. I could not imagine an organization that didn't require monetary contributions in return for a service. It was my first, and thus far, only experience with getting something for nothing. Because I didn't feel used or conned by those in AA, I was able to approach the program free from bias and with an open mind. They wanted nothing from me. What could I lose? I thank God for the wisdom of the early founders who knew so well the alcoholic's disdain for being manipulated. All right, my friends, that concludes today's reading and some great stuff. My goodness. If I could only talk about one today, the 24 hours a day really stands out to me because I am guilty as sin for this. I'll give you a practical example. I'd say it was it was Christmas Eve, I remember. I did another inventory. Some things were bothering me, keeping me up at night. I think I even shared it on the show that I didn't tell my trusted friend the whole truth. I only gave them a partial truth, and that started bothering me. So finally, I wrote it all down. I did an inventory. I started studying the root causes, and I prayed. And then finally, I talked to a trusted friend, and I told him everything. Not just, part of it that didn't make me look like such a bad guy, but everything. I took the mask off. And guess what? just like always, every time I've done this. It was not as scary as I imagined it would be. He was loving. He pointed out some things in me that I needed to work on. He said he'd help me pray about it. He admitted some of his struggles. And I remember as soon as I got off the phone, I got on my knees and I prayed the 7-step prayer. I pray you'd have all of me, good and bad, and remove from me every single defect of character which stands in the way of my usefulness to you and my fellows. Grant me strength as I go out from here. And that was on Christmas Eve, to do your bidding. So then, and I don't know where this started. I don't know if my sponsor gave me the idea a long time ago, but it works for me. I remember going outside with that inventory after I'd already given everything to my higher power. And I remember folding it up and burning it and looking up to the sky and thanking my higher power for taking this from me. So I say all that to say this. Every now and then, I am getting a little better. Progress, not perfection, right? Every now and then, since that time, I'll think about it again. I'll pick it back up. And along with it, the self-hatred that came from that. But then I catch myself and I go, no, wait. I already gave that to my higher power. God, you can have this. I don't want it anymore. I don't want it. I believe that you've forgiven me. I believe you're giving me strategies to make those direct and indirect amends. And it's yours. So honestly, I haven't really thought about it much, but every now and then I do. But I catch myself and go, wait a minute. No, that's just my crazy obsessive mind trying to take back my will, but I've already given it over to my higher power. And today, February 28th, here on a Saturday morning, bright and early, I've got a smile on my face because I am forgiven, I'm cleansed, I'm being made whole each and every day, and I'm sober today. My friends, if you are sober today, you're a miracle, and you're giving a great gift to those around you. And if you're not sober, my friend, I hope you know that you're a miracle as well, that you have worth and value, and your story is not done yet. I pray that today you would get the help that you need, and you don't have to do it alone. There are so many resources out there and so many people willing to help you walk through this. We are in this lifeboat of recovery together. And as always, my friends, please know I don't speak on behalf of AA, NA, Al-Anon, any other sect. I am just a drunk. Honored to be here today. One more day. And with that, if we're given another set of 24 hours, I sincerely look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow.